Good evening. I am Arachna of the Spider People, your hostess with the mostess. And welcome to Beware Theater, because this be where you're gonna see some really bad movies. We have vampires, werewolves, monsters, aliens, and of course, the undead. So take a load off, pull up a couch, and fasten your seatbelt. It's gonna be a creepy night. Tonight, we watched 1961 sci-fi space movie, The Phantom Planet. It was a very, very low budget movie, used stock music and borrowed sets and costumes from other sci-fi movies, was directed by William Marshall, and starred Dean Fredericks, who had been Steve Canyon in some TV serials and also some Western movies. It also starred silent movie heartthrob Francis X. Bushman in his late 70s. I mean, he had been voted the sexiest male on Earth back in his day. The Phantom Planet was not a very far-sighted movie. I mean, it was only set in 19 years in the future, 1980. But it was a time when we blasted off not from Cape Canaveral, but from the moon. Yeah, from the moon. Like, we'd like to do that today, but we don't have the technology. And it was also a time when fearless American pilots went where no man had gone before to explore new worlds and new civilizations. Unfortunately, one day in 1980, one of those rocket ships didn't come back. So they sent a second rocket ship, and it didn't come back. So apparently, not realizing that doing the same thing over and over is insanity, they sent a third rocket ship out to find out what happened to the first two. And then weird things start happening. Like the pilot finds himself on this self-propelled asteroid, and then he shrinks to 6 inches tall, and then he falls in love, and then he fights this weird snout-nosed bug-eyed alien, and then at the end he can't figure out reality from fiction. There's a hunky blonde hero, a very dangerous spacewalk, a planet that looks like a chicken nugget, a really ugly alien, and a love triangle that ends up with a duel to the death. This movie's kind of silly, but in a good way. So now let's watch The Phantom Planet.
Since the splitting of the atom only a few decades ago, and through his God-given genius of science, man, at last, has succeeded in penetrating further and further into the unknown vastness of space. The moon has become the launching base for advanced exploration. From this pivotal point, astronauts, at the risk of their lives, set out to conquer nature's mysterious forces. Yet many questions remained unanswered. What is his Earth in relation to the inconceivable number of other worlds? Is his speed truly the fastest, his achievements the greatest, or is he a mere unimportant piece of driftwood floating in the vast ocean of the universe? Could there be life similar to our own on other planets? Is it not possible that atmospheric conditions of relative environments control their shapes and forms? If so, would they be giants, or could perhaps the opposite be true? Could their intellect have reached a scientific level far above man's dreams? What then will the future reveal, if this story you are about to witness is only the beginning?
Log entry. Pegasus 3, March 16th, 1980. Captain Leonard, pilot. Lieutenant Webb, navigator. This is the 7th and last day of Space Reconnaissance Research, Flight 361, from United States Air Force Lunar Base 1. We are 21,000 miles from base, bearing at 270 degrees, 23 minutes. Azimuth at plus 46 degrees, 46 degrees, 50 minutes, ecliptic. On routine successive approximation, by trajectory computer using data from the space position recorder.
We're almost a degree off trajectory, Captain. Equipment check's okay. Must be an outside acceleration force. Something approaching fast. I'm setting up auto-evasive pattern.
A large planetoid object is on a direct collision course with us.
We are under 11 G's exterior acceleration and have no control whatsoever.
Just incredible. 2 ships missing in less than a month. Nothing within thousands of miles of their position. And yet they crash into something that appears suddenly on our radar, big enough to be a planet. And then the next instant it disappears.
It's against all theories of space.
You get the same reports from bases 2 and 3?
It appeared for a second or two, then vanished completely.
A ship is on a routine flight. Controls, rockets, everything in order. And then all of a sudden...
Yes?
General Gibson for Colonel Mansfield from Earth Headquarters.
Stand by.
Colonel Lansfield.
Mansfield, what's all the trouble up there?
General, I can't tell you any more than what was in that report this morning.
You're certain the rockets crashed?
I am. We have their last log entry through our recording reproduction unit. Now, General, I've listened to it over and over. It tells what happened, but not how and why.
What do you suggest?
I don't know, General. No doubt the rocket's destroyed. We don't know what we're looking for. This mysterious planet seems to come and go at such speeds, it's impossible to track.
Phantom planet, Lansfield. You're a little old to think that, aren't you?
This is a capable base, General, run by capable men. Now, there's something out there that isn't supposed to be.
All right. Take it easy. Send another reconnaissance with Chapman.
Chapman? I need him for the Mars project.
If this phantom planet thing isn't cleared up, there won't be any Mars project. Send him.
Yes, sir. Ask Chapman to report.
Yes, sir. Captain Chapman, report to the Colonel.
Sir, I've been testing the pressure equipment for the Mars project.
Forget about that now, Chapman. You leave tomorrow morning. The General wants someone with your experience.
I don't know whether to feel flattered or not. What exactly will I be looking for? A floating space monster?
This is no joke, Frank. I wish it were.
Sorry, sir. You know how rumors move around the space.
Well, it's one of the things we hope that you'll dispel.
Well, you're the Colonel. I'll take a crack at anything once.
And that's about all you'll get, Frank. One crack.
18,000 miles out at 270 degrees azimuth and 47 degrees ecliptic. Speed 4.6 miles per second.
Check. Computer guidance on. Ability course on. Direction of rocket's port off. Never fails to fascinate me from up here.
You know, Captain, every year of my life, I grow more and more convinced that the wisest and best is to fix our attention on the good and on the beautiful. He'll just take the time to look at it.
Here's some guy, McCona.
Lunar Base 1 to Pegasus 4. Lunar Base 1 to Pegasus 4. Can you read me?
This is Pegasus 4 to Lunar Base 1. This is Lieutenant McConan.
Colonel Lansfield for Captain Chapman.
Chapman standing by.
Anything out there, Frank?
Nothing, Colonel. It's almost too quiet.
Well, keep alert. And don't waver off your course 1 degree, unless you think you're on to something. And if you do get on to something, report at once.
Yes, sir. Pegasus 4 to Lunar Base 1. Over. Out.
I hope whatever was out there is gone now.
What's our elapsed time from base?
14 hours, 22 minutes, and 30 seconds.
You could stay up here another 14 hours and still see nothing. Even 1,400 hours.
That's about all we can do, though.
Are you sure we're still on course?
Why?
Well, I have an idea. Turn to 278 degrees azimuth. 047 degrees ecliptic.
Yes, sir. Changing course to 278 degrees azimuth, hold 47 degrees ecliptic.
Lansfield tells us to charter the same course Pegasus 3 took. Well, that's fine, but I don't think we'll get anywhere. This strange planet dashes about like it's supposed to. It figures we won't find it around here. So we're changing course. You could go nuts out here just waiting for something to happen. Electrostatic meters going haywire.
Lunar Base 1 to Pegasus 4. Can you read me? Over.
Pegasus 4 to Lunar Base 1. We read you. Over.
You are completely off course, Pegasus 4. Check your position immediately.
E-computer and spectrometer out.
Pegasus 4 to Lunar Base 1. We are aware of being off course. Cannot explain at present. We are entering a heavy magnetic field. Several instruments are out, and I'm afraid others are going. Give us our exact position. Over.
Pegasus 4, you're...
Cannot hear you, Lunar Base 1. Over. Changing to the manual control. Meteor.
Boy, that was close.
Yeah, and I'm afraid it isn't over yet.
We're on a semi-closing course with them.
Screen 1's fading fast. What about the infrared detector?
That's out, too.
The thing we can do is turn it 90 degrees to the shower's path.
Here they come.
This is it. Looks like the worst is over. Cabin pressure?
20 coming up.
Retroport?
Positive.
Retro starboard?
Positive.
Main circuit 1?
Negative.
Main 2?
Negative.
Now let's try the auxiliaries. Main 1?
Negative.
Main 2? That's not in the circuits.
Now, the meteors must have smacked into the propulsion elements.
Feed lines.
Yeah, we're lucky.
Well, there's only one way to find out.
Looks like it.
rocket feed lines must be cut. Frank, your airline's broken. Frank!
You know, you gotta love these spaceships in the old B movies that look like V-1 rockets. Pointy noses, flames shooting out the back, cockpits with all kinds of whirring dials and other things that look like they came from a junkyard. But I do have to say that the plane's cockpit in this movie looks like it was designed by somebody who actually knew what a cockpit looked like, right down to the tape recorder. Tape recorder? Wait a minute, these guys have been talking on an interstellar radio back to the moon base all this time. Why can't they just give their location on that instead of the tape recorder? No wonder they can't find the other ships. They took their tape recorders with them. Anyhow, this ship is out there looking around, and all of a sudden this big asteroid comes up and its gravitational pull pulls it down to the surface and it crashes. Well, this is now the second plane that the colonel has lost in 2 months. So he pulls his best pilot off the Go to Mars project and he sends him and a co-pilot out to look for the first 2 ships. Well, square-jawed, blonde-haired, cocky Captain Chapman isn't very happy about it. I mean, he was going to go to Mars. Anyhow, he does his duty and they take off and go look for the other 2 planes. So to pass the time, they start spouting all kinds of amazing scientific mumbo-jumbo. Co-pilot McConan gets all philosophical about the meaning of life, and then Captain Chapman decides he's going to change course because he thinks he knows where they went, and he doesn't tell the colonel. Boy, are they going to be in trouble when they get back to the moon base. If they get back to the moon base, because all of a sudden, bam, they find themselves in this meteor shower. A meteor hit the outside of the plane, knocks out their power, and they go adrift. Oh, what are they going to do? Well, I'll tell you what they're going to do. They're going to violate the laws of space science and good sense. In other words, they're going to do something stupid. No, they're going to do lots of stupid things. First, both of them go outside to check the damage on the plane. Both of them. Shouldn't one of them stay inside just in case? Then they creep on the outside of the plane on the little tiny wing because, well, they're not tethered, nor do they have any handholds, footholds, or any kind of safety equipment. And then they pull out just a plain old crescent wrench and start digging around in this compartment that's spewing gas. Well, while they're doing that, a micrometeorite hits Captain Chapman's air hose and he passes out. Well, co-pilot McConan tries pushing him back into the airlock, and before he can get back in himself, another micrometeorite hits him and knocks him out into space. Wow, I do have to say that was pretty sad. Deadly? No, Deadly, I don't know the difference between a crescent wrench and a monkey wrench. Ask a monkey.
With all respect to the colonel, sir, I don't think it's any use.
Keep working that radar and keep working it until we locate Chapman.
Yes, sir.
He's got to be out there somewhere. He just has to be.
Lieutenant McConnell.
Captain Frank Chapman, pilot, Pegasus 4. My ship is being drawn toward an asteroid. Instruments completely out of operation. Navigator McConan, lost. I cannot read my position. I'm going to try to land. I don't think I'll make it. If I do, I'll continue recording.
Size?
self-propelled?
Yes, Sessom. Thank you, Sessom. Bring in the jurors. Will Ipsilata step forward?
Call the prisoner.
Bring in the prisoner.
Stand here, in front of our leader and our judge.
Is the prisoner from another world ready to hear the charges against him?
Charges? What charges?
I will ask the questions. Are you ready to stand trial?
It seems I have no choice. First, I want to know what I'm charged with.
We'll let you know in time. What are you called?
Chapman. Frank Chapman.
What is your occupation in the world from which you come?
I'm a captain in the Air Force of the United States, a country on Earth, Space Exploration Wing. But you must know about us. You speak our language.
We do not speak it. But here on Rayton...
Rayton?
Yes, Rayton, the name of our planet. Here we are able to translate all languages through voice tone waves.
Man from Earth, you are accused of causing injury to one of our people.
I thought I was being attacked, and I defended myself. I didn't want to come to your world. I lost control of my ship. It was like being pulled toward your planet by an enormous gravitational force.
You were, when you came into our path of travel.
Path of travel? Phantom planet.
We managed just in time to control your landing by releasing the pressure in our space warp. Jury will now vote and find you guilty or not guilty for inflicting injury on a Rayton man.
The verdict, Judge.
I find you guilty as charged. You are now a free subject of Rayton. The jury is dismissed. That is all. You are now a free subject of Rayton.
That is not all. Listen, I don't know what kind of a place this is, but you must have some kind of law here. This planet pulled me to it. I didn't come here by choice.
But being here, you cannot be permitted to leave. We must keep our security at any cost. So, I must pronounce you guilty. No penalties will be lodged against you. But you must become a subject of Rayton. Trial is concluded.
Nothing is concluded. What is this? First I'm found guilty of something that's not my fault, and then I'm set free. Well, free to go where? Back to my world 6 inches tall?
Don't worry. No harm will come to you. I'm Liara, Sessam's daughter. I'll show you to your quarters. Well, come. We'll talk on the way.
What has happened to me?
You mean your size? Well, our atmosphere, together with some acceleration from our gravitational control, has reduced you to normal.
Normal?
Normal for us. You see, everything here is in proportion to our planet's size. We know several worlds that have creatures larger or smaller according to the size of their world. Do you feel any different?
No, but it's not exactly funny to think that someone on Earth could carry me about in their pocket.
Oh, that would never happen. The oxygen in your atmosphere would restore you immediately to your regular size. But either way, it wouldn't matter. You'll never see your world again.
Nothing yet.
No, sir. No contact for 2 days.
I'll wait another 24 hours. Then, with or without orders, I'm sending out a search party.
You wanted to see me?
Yes. Will you excuse me? We must talk about your future. Your future on Rayton.
My future on Rayton? I want to talk about getting back to my world, back to Earth.
I'm afraid that is impossible. You might as well accept your fate of being one of us. Being one of us, you must be productive in one way or another.
Well, what is it you want me to do?
You must help us to keep spaceships from your world from landing here.
But that's my only hope of getting back.
Forget about it.
2 ships in my unit disappeared. Did they crash here?
Unfortunately, yes. They were pulled into our strong gravitational field.
Well, so was I.
Yes, but luckily we were aware of your approach and lowered the power on our gravity field.
I don't get it. In many ways, you're hundreds of years ahead of our science. Yet you live in such a primitive manner.
It may not be as odd as it seems. It's true that our technology may be much further advanced than yours, but then a strange thing happened.
What was that?
We had machines do all our work. People on Rayton became completely free of all labor, practically of all responsibilities. Our people became soft and lazy. They did not know how to cope with their free time. They started to fight amongst themselves.
That's very interesting. Many people on Earth are beginning to face the same problem. Too much free time, too little work.
Problem not at all unique in the history of the universe.
Well, what happened on Rayton?
Our forefathers then made a wise decision. They returned to, as you say, our primitive ways. The Raytons again had to toil for their living. They became much stronger, much happier, much more valuable.
But you didn't forsake all of your scientific achievements.
No, we retained the secret of the gravity control for our survival in space, and the secret of our food production for our survival on this barren planet.
You sacrificed advancement for this.
Sesame rules us, and we are content. Now, can't we get on with this, Sesame?
Aaron is hasty. We all are. Our lives have been changed so much. I would like you to become acquainted with our ways. Later, you may choose a wife. Liara or Zeta. Zeta cannot speak, but she is a fine woman.
Well, between the two, it would be difficult to make a choice.
It is no problem. You may take your time, but once you've made your choice, remember, it must not be taken lightly.
You must be hungry. Come with me.
Liara, go now and learn our ways, and perhaps you may help us with our problems.
You can decide about this later. Now you need to eat and rest.
This is good. What is it?
Well, I think it's the equivalent of your breadfruit. We made it chemically for you since nothing grows here on this planet. Oh, here. Drink this. It's good for you, and it'll help to make you rest. You need it.
Say nothing grows here. Well, then how do you exist?
Well, our bodies are so constructed that we need very little food because of the air we breathe. Feeling better now? I hope so.
Yes. But I'd like to get out of here.
You're a strange one, Frenchman.
I'm a strange one. What about everybody else? And don't call me Frank Chapman. My name is Frank Chapman. 2 words.
Yes. Frank Chapman.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be so rough. It's just that, well, this is so new to me. You know what I'd like to do if I had a choice?
What?
I'd like to return to my ship.
Well, that's impossible.
Then you see, I'm still a prisoner.
Not at all. You're free to go anywhere here on Rayton.
Except to my ship.
Your rocket is no longer on this planet. It was sent off last night while you were sleeping.
I cannot read my position. I'm going to try to land. I don't think I'll make it. If I do, I'll continue recording. This is Captain Frank Chapman, pilot, Pegasus 4. My ship is being drawn toward an asteroid. Instruments completely out of operation. Navigator McConan, lost.
So when Chapman regains consciousness, he realizes that his co-pilot is gone, he's alone on the ship, and they're hurtling towards this asteroid that looks like a chicken nugget. Luckily, a tractor beam brings him down for a soft landing. He stumbles out of the ship, falls to the ground, looks around, and he can't believe his eyes. He's surrounded by these little tiny men about 6 inches tall, dressed in hospital scrubs. I mean, this has got to be either the worst chapter of Gulliver's Travels or the inspiration for a Star Trek episode 5 years in the future. And then Chapman starts shrinking, and he's shrinking to the point where he's as small as those guys. So they come and they drag him out of his helmet and carry him off, kicking and screaming. Well, at least beating up on an important guy called Heron. And they take him back to this cave where they all live, and he meets the leader, Sesson, who immediately puts him on trial for assaulting Heron. And you know, this is the 1960s and a sci-fi movie, and back then it seemed to be an unwritten rule that you had to objectify beautiful women. So the court's jury are naturally these beautiful short-skirted women, 2 of which later become Playboy playmates. And they judge him guilty. And his sentence is he can never leave the planet ever again. Also, he needs to be productive and find a wife. I mean, he just got here. He didn't know anybody. His 2 choices for a wife, however, are the leader's daughter, Liara, or this mute girl, Zithra. I mean, he's kind of intrigued by her, but then Liara grabs him, drags him off, makes goo-goo eyes at him, and tells him that they have shoved his spaceship out into space so he can never leave. You know, Liara, if you want to win Chapman over, you need to be less snarky and devious. And you know, there are some other weird things about this Phantom Planet, Rayton, other than it's a spray-painted styrofoam set. The dictionary says a planet is an astronomical body that orbits a star and whose gravity has made it become round. Well, Rayton's not round, it doesn't orbit a star, and it can go anywhere it wants. So maybe they should have called this movie The Phantom Asteroid? Don't you think, Deadly? Deadly? Where's Deadly? What are you doing? Oh my goodness, you're 6 inches tall. What happened? You were breathing Rayton air. Deadly, you don't have any lungs. You can't breathe. Oh.
Sir, unidentified object on screen.
This must be Chapman's ship, Colonel.
Certainly has all the indications and all the characteristics of a spaceship. And no other unit of ours is scheduled for flight in this area. Any contact?
None, Colonel. Just static.
His auto-emergency transmitter should be on full blast.
I'm tuned to all Pegasus frequencies, sir. So are the automatic relays on Earth.
Good. This must be Chapman's ship.
What else can it be?
Captain Beecher and Lieutenant White are to report to the briefing room immediately and stand by for takeoff. Now report immediately any news or anything unusual on your radio and radar relays.
Yes, Colonel.
Major, your final instructions are being teletyped on your recorders.
Yes, sir.
As you know, something unusual must have happened to Chapman and McConan. And I don't mind telling you that it's of greatest importance to space travel that we find out exactly what happened to these two men. So blast off, and good luck.
We'll do our best, Colonel.
Try to land. I don't think I'll make it. If I do, I'll continue recording. This is Captain Frank Chapman, pilot, Pegasus 4. My ship is being drawn toward an asteroid. Instruments completely out of operation. Navigator McConan, lost.
Pegasus 4 to Lunar Base 1. Pegasus 4 to Lunar Base 1. This is Captain Beecher, over.
Lunar Base 1 to Pegasus 4. We read you, Captain Beecher. Good work. Stand by for Colonel Lansfield.
Beecher, how are they?
They're not. I mean, there's no one on board. There isn't a sign of life.
Two men just don't get up and walk off a rocket in the middle of space?
No, sir.
Then what the devil?
Chapman recorded a final message, sir, but it doesn't make sense.
Our repro units are picking it up. We're examining it. Can you bring her in?
I'll have to check out the instruments, but I think so.
All right, give it a try. White can bring your ship in.
Yes, sir.
And Beecher.
Yes, sir.
Good luck.
I want to speak to Sesson. And right now.
Very well. Father, Frank Chapman wishes to speak with you.
Do you want to talk about Liara?
That isn't what I came here to discuss. My work has reached a stage and I need to know more about your gravity control.
It is too soon. Now, how do we know he's not a spy for the Solarites?
You're too distrusting, Heron. All right. You may see it. The density of our planet made it possible for us to advance gravity and therefore anti-gravity theories.
It's beyond me. What causes Rayton's high density?
The atoms on this planet have narrower electronic orbits than the atoms on most other planets. The smaller they become, the easier it is for us to control and take advantage of positive and negative gravity.
But why is Rayton getting smaller?
This planet is slowly using up the energy that holds the atomic particles together.
You mean you might disintegrate into nothing?
Yes, someday. But it will not be in our time.
We don't seem to worry that our sun might be cooling off in many millions of years.
The danger for us is that sudden bursts of concentrated heat directed on our Rayton might suddenly speed up the process of time.
You think that's possible?
And we have enemies who want our knowledge of gravity and who know our weakness.
You're expecting an attack?
When you have enemies You always expect an attack.
Hello. I'm going to take a walk. Will you join me? Come on. You know, this is the first time I've had a chance to talk to you alone. How is it you're more different than the others? I don't mean you're sour inside. I mean you're warmer, more sensitive. That wasn't really a question, because I know you can't answer. I just wanted you to know how I feel. Strange world. I don't want to hurt Liara. You don't either, do you? I like you.
I have charges to make against the Earthman Chapman. He is imposing himself both on Liara, your daughter, and the mute girl Zeta. Now, this is an insult to Liara. You know I love her. And a direct insult to me. I am asking, rather, I am demanding your permission to challenge him to the duel.
You sent for me?
Yes. I have reports about you that are not good. That you're causing much trouble.
What am I supposed to have done now?
You are forcing your attentions on Liara, and then on the mute girl Zeta.
That's not true. Why don't you ask them?
He lies.
Silence. Is it true? Has he forced himself or his attentions upon you?
Why would she admit it? Perhaps she's afraid of it. Being mute, she's unable to defend herself.
Maybe she's protecting me. Listen, I'm not going to be put on trial or questioned by you or anyone else for something I haven't done. You know, buddy, I don't like you. Maybe it's a carryover from Earth and not good taste, but I'd like to hang one on you.
Chapman, Harron has challenged you to the duel of Rayton. Do you accept his challenge?
A duel for what? What kind of a duel? This guy doesn't look very honest to me.
A duel of bravery.
You know, Mr. Sessom, maybe this duel business is a good idea. Might clear the air a little. So how do we go about it?
Harron, you know the rules for the duel of Rayton. But for him, I'll have to explain and show the results. Chapman, come here. Those are gravity plates that we've had placed here. Their intensity is so high that any object or any person placed on any one of them would immediately disintegrate. Here, let me show you. The duel of Rayton is one of physical strength and skill. You will use this rod and attempt to push your opponent on top of one of the gravity plates. You saw what happened to the rock. At my signal, you will start the duel. There can be no quarter called and no quarter given. The fate of the victim is in the hands of the victor. The moment has come. At my light signal, you will proceed.
Kill you. I never did.
Why didn't you kill him?
I didn't want to. I don't believe in it. In this case, killing him would have accomplished nothing.
But Heron wouldn't have shown you mercy. He'd have killed you because he wants me. But I don't love him. I love you.
If you'd felt anything for either one of us, you could have stopped this duel.
What?
You know what I think? I think you were waiting to see which one of us won and then take the one that was left over.
Wow.
No, Liara, I don't love you. I don't even know if I like you. But let me tell you this. You can't make someone love you. It's got to come naturally. You can't force it. You can't command it. If you do that, you'll never find it. Oh, this whole thing is like a nightmare to me. I miss my people. Well, I've got to make some attempt to get back. And if you feel anything for me, you'll try to help me.
Well, perhaps you're right. Maybe I can help you.
As you said, I don't want to kill you. No, I think I could understand your somewhat quaint language if I were on your earth a little.
Well, why don't you kill me?
You didn't kill me. You had the chance.
Well, what about the knife? This isn't exactly what I'd call a friendly visit.
You help me. I have a plan whereby I might help you to leave our planet. Perhaps it will work.
I don't see how this is possible. What about my size?
I inspected your giant suit. And the oxygen tank holds air from your own world. Now, isn't that right?
Yes, of course, but why?
No, never mind that. It's not important. You see, the whole plan is based on the theory that your people are searching for you. Now, I must get you back before they attempt to find you here.
I know they've been searching and will eventually zero in on this planet.
I think I can get you back in time.
Yes, but you're doing this because of Liara, aren't you?
Yes, I am. I'm in love with her. I don't think she loves me yet, but perhaps with you gone, she will see things in a more realistic light in time.
Well, how can we get my suit into the open?
I have some men I can trust.
Incessant?
No. You must never know. Otherwise, we both will be put to death. 2 nights a week, I'm alone. In complete charge of the Master Control Center.
Can one man handle it?
Yes. And on one of those nights in the near future, while Sesame's sleeping, I will maneuver Raytown within a distance of your Earth's moon.
You think they'll be able to see us?
Precisely. They will investigate and find you.
Go with her.
What is this? What's happening?
The siren means we're being attacked.
Attacked by whom? Attacked by whom?
The Solarites. We've been here too long. They've discovered our position.
Who are the Solarites?
I've no time to explain. I must help Cessa.
What will this do to our plans?
We must fight this off, or no one will have any plans.
Is everyone underground?
Yes.
Then we go. They're safe for the moment. I fear they won't give up so easily.
Safe for the moment? Well, who are these Solarites anyhow?
They're from a sun satellite. For generations, they've been after our universal gravity control because they want to avoid being pulled into the sun.
If we don't stop them, they'll eventually attack your Earth. Liara, show him the prisoner.
Prisoner?
Come.
That's a Solarite.
Yes. He was captured during the last war. The only one of their monsters that didn't die in the attack.
When did this attack take place?
Several years ago, when Syfy was a little girl. That's when she lost her voice.
What makes those rocks disintegrate? It's as if they were hitting some invisible wall.
That's exactly what it is. The monster is so strong that he can smash any ordinary structure. Now, what you call an invisible wall is really another way that we use our gravitational control. Now, by using a high magnetic field, we can lock molecules so closely together that they form a solid wall.
I only hope your wall will hold him in check.
Yes. He could kill us all if he escaped.
Life on other planets. We were always wondering if ours was the only one so blessed.
There are many inhabited worlds, but only these fire people bother us.
Meanwhile, back at the moon base, radar picks up Chapman's ship floating adrift out in space. So they send yet a fourth vehicle out there to try to find out what happens. So the pilot does an EVA, he jetpacks over to Chapman's ship, goes in, looks around, see that nobody's there, and he decides he's going to fly the ship back to the moon base. Wait a minute, I thought Chapman's ship was disabled and couldn't fly anywhere. Back on Rayton, Chapman has convinced Session to show him how the planet's gravity device works, but it's not what he expected, because the controls look like a table full of broken wine glasses that you just wave your hands over. What? No dials, no flashing lights, no theremin sound? What kind of cheesy movie is this? Well, it's a really, really low budget movie. That's what it is. But then Session tells Chapman that the dense gravity of the planet is causing it to shrink to the point where someday it's going to implode. So now Chapman really wants off this planet, but not before he takes a walk with the lovely Zethra. And they go back to where his spacesuit is laying in the sand, and he tells her he likes her. But as luck would have it, the nebby-nosed heron is hiding in the helmet, and he hears everything. And for some reason, he is so offended by what he hears, he challenges Chapman to a duel to the death. Yikes. And at this point, folks, I'm not sure if I'm watching this movie or a Star Trek episode where two hunky, sweaty, bare-chested men are using some kind of I-beam pole to push each other onto metal plates on the ground that are going to vaporize them if they step on them. But Chapman luckily wins the day. And when he goes to push Heron onto these plates, he pulls back and he said, "No, I'm not going to kill you." And it's amazing how a kindness to an enemy can change their attitude. Unless, of course, they have an ulterior motive. And Heron does, Because he loves Liara, he wants Chapman off the planet so that he can have her. So he says, sure, I'll help you off the planet. Wait a minute, doesn't he forget that the spaceship is gone? How's Chapman going to get off? Not to worry, because Heron can maneuver the planet over to the moon base and they can send a rescue ship. Sounds like a good plan until the air raid siren goes off. Rayton's being attacked by the Solarites, who are flying these ships that look like burning beer cans. Maybe they've come to get one of their own that Rayton has in prison. And he's one big, ugly, nasty-looking alien. He's actually being played by a very young 7'2" Richard Kiel, who later went on to play in 2 James Bond movies as the big snarly-toothed guy Jaws. And, oh, Deadly, are you going to play the wine glasses? You're parking the car remotely with a Rayton app.
Fantastic.
We can do one of 2 things. Outrun them or fight them.
Well, breaking up a formation is one thing, but how can you fight them? Do you have a chance?
We have to settle that once and for all. Living in constant danger isn't worthy of us.
But don't forget, we still have the gravity control.
The greatest danger to us is the high-intensity heat bomb.
That's right. They have enough concentrated heat to blow up our planet instantly.
What would you do?
I would fight.
And you?
Fight.
Right. That's exactly my decision.
Prepare for battle.
Sharp acceleration for attack position. Maneuver so that we face the enemy when they attack. Heron, alert our units to be ready for frontal attack.
All units, prepare for frontal attack.
Activate the gravity curtain.
Oh, it was a magnificent victory.
But I'm deeply plagued with regret when I'm forced to destroy.
If it wasn't them, it would have been you.
Perhaps you are right. You're wise, Chapman. One day you and Heron will lead our people.
Well, I'm honored and grateful,
I
but...
will teach him all he needs to know.
Where's Zeta?
She went to sleep early.
Sleep. I'm very tired. Perhaps the battle was too much of a strain on me. Good night.
Sleep well, Stefan.
was that? Over there.
Help!
It's Cecil.
Oh, Father! Oh, Father!
What happened to him?
I think it was a solarite.
Are you all right? What happened?
I don't know.
Was it the solarite? Did you see him?
It was terrible.
I'm going to control room.
No, you stay with Liara.
Chapman,
Yes?
go through that corridor. It's shorter.
Hi.
But be careful.
I'll be all right. I'll be all right.
Oh, Heron.
Zeta, are you all right?
Watch the plates.
How's Sessom?
He will be all right. Liara's with him.
I'm glad.
You still wish to return to your world?
Yes, but...
Well, then tonight's the best time. See, the chaos of battle has brought us closer to your moon than we've ever been. It'll be a simple task to maneuver Rayton slowly and steadily even closer, and the risk will not be so great because the travel time will be short.
And we'll be well within the range of Moon's radar.
Yes, but we cannot go unnoticed. Now, as soon as we're within range of your moon, my men will carry your suit out into the open. Now, if your people come to investigate, we'll pull them into our gravity and direct their landing. Meanwhile, you will enter your suit, seal it up, so that you're not exposed to our atmosphere, and, well, the rest you know.
Where shall I meet you?
The control chamber. Someone will come for you.
Syfy. It's you.
Yes, Frank Chapman.
But you can talk.
From my fright when I thought you were going to be killed, something happened. And after I screamed, I found I was able to speak.
Syfy.
I have many things to say to you, Frank Chapman.
It's so wonderful you being able to talk. And I have so many things to say to you. Oh, everything has been terrible. You're so lovely. You have such an adorable little face. I've found perhaps what I've been looking for all my life. And I must leave. Although everything within me wants to stay. It's my solemn duty to leave. You understand that, don't you?
Frank Chapman, I've been in love with you since the first time I saw you. And I've never been able to speak a word of it until now. As I know, my love for you is so strong. So, I also know that you will leave.
I must leave.
Good, you're on time. Here we go. Another hour and we shall be close enough for you to be found.
Lunar Base 1 to Rocket Ship 380. Over.
This is Rocket Ship 380 to Lunar Base 1. Over.
Radar has just picked up a giant asteroid. Identity unknown. Cannot find any record of it in the space charts.
The Phantom Planet. Give us exact position of asteroid.
9 degrees in northern cluster field, and I have an order from Colonel Lansfield. You are to land on this asteroid and send White to investigate.
I hope you will find happiness back with your people.
You would be my happiness. Here or there.
Frank Chapman, please. You must take the stone. It will be a good luck charm. Hold on to it. It will help you to go back safely to your people. Keep it. And remember, Mac, I love you.
Yes, Syfy. I'll keep it forever.
Just confirmed it. A rocket similar to yours is heading in our direction.
I hope it won't crash.
Don't worry. I have the best men on gravitation control. And I have another man who's coming to help me turn on the oxygen tanks as soon as you're in your suit.
Thank you, Han. You know, we've become friends here. Good friends. We would have become friends anywhere. Your planet or my Earth. I wish you and Liara much happiness.
Chapman. Chapman. White to Beecher.
Come in, White.
I found Chapman. He's alive.
But there's no trace of McConan. Where's McConan?
He's dead. He's gone. Where are we? Where are they? Where are the others?
Who's who?
Zathan.
What are you talking about?
Jason. Helen.
Come on, let's get back to the ship. White to Beecher.
I'm bringing him in. He seems to be all right. He said McConan is dead. He keeps talking about other people. I think he's in a state of shock.
Do you need assistance?
No, Captain, I can handle him alone.
You know, Frank, you're a lucky guy. This is a wandering planet. Could have carried you anywhere. I'm sure glad we found you.
Zathan. Where is she?
What you need is a rest.
Prepare for immediate takeoff. How do you feel, Chapman?
I don't know. I don't understand. It's unbelievable.
We'll get you back to Moon Base for a thorough examination. Do you think you're hurt?
I don't think so.
You must have been knocked out for quite a while.
I must have been dreaming.
Quite possible you were delirious. The shock of the crash landing of your ship.
Ray's gone. But I just left Zathan and Heron. She had such an adorable little face.
All rockets ready for firing. Stand by for countdown.
The gravity of this planetoid is very strong. We'll need every bit of thrust for our takeoff.
Don't worry. I know we're gonna make it.
Start your countdown.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Cut off power.
Power off.
Rear screen.
Rear screen.
No, now they'll never believe me. Even with this, they'll never believe me.
What then will the future reveal? If this story is only the beginning, only the beginning.
So there you have it, another monochromatic movie marvel, and not as bad as I thought it was going to be. This movie teaches me that if you're going to go into space, you need to read the safety manual. That way you can hook yourself in so you don't fall off the ship, and you can bring the proper tools in case you break down. This movie also teaches me that the special effects in these old B movies is the main reason you should watch these thinkers, because you never know when a monster is going to be really stupid looking or a planet is going to resemble your chicken nugget dinner. So until next time, or not, this is Arachna of the Spider People, wishing you nighty night, and don't let any bug-eyed, dog-faced aliens bite. Oh, Deadly, I've never been to an intergalactic air show before. Those UFOs are really fast, and no wonder you can't see them when they fly by. Where are you going? We're gonna miss the shuttle bus back to the terminal. What do you mean there's a 1950s rocket ship in there? Ooh, I'd like to see that. Oh, this looks authentic. But you know, these old 1950s rockets never flew. It was the lame special effects that made them look like they flew. Don't touch that. Oh, now we're really in trouble. Oh, we're trespassing on government property. I hope they don't shoot us like they do in Area 51. Don't touch that. Deadly, come back here. Deadly, come back here. This spaceship is so old, it's probably full of mice and spiders. Well, spiders aren't so bad. Hello? Anybody here? Hello? Deadly, what are you doing? Get out of that chair and stop touching things. You don't know what they do. Oh, Deadly, this is too creepy. Let's get out of here. Come on. Oh, wait a minute. We're locked in. Oh, no. Find the button that opens the door. Oh, what's that ding?
T minus 10
that can't be a
minutes
good
to
sign. What? We're moving. Oh no, I better sit down. Hello, control tower. Hello. We're on this 1950s rocket ship and we don't know how to fly it. And please, can you get us out of here? Oh, Deadly, nobody's answering. Hello? Hello? 1950s rocket. This is the control tower. Do you read me? Who are you and what are you doing on our ship? Over. Oh, yes. Hi. This is Arachna of the Spider People. I'm here with my friend Deadly, and we accidentally got on the plane, and he's been touching buttons I told him not to touch, and now it launched and we're flying, and can you get us out of here? Can you stop this launch? Negative 1950s rocket. Once that launch is started, we can't stop it. We don't have the old launch codes to stop it. So my advice to you is just sit back and relax and enjoy the ride. And we'll come get you in maybe a week. Over? A week? A week? Oh.
T minus 5 minutes to launch.
Please read the safety information card located in the seat pocket
I
in
thought
front
this
of
was
you.
a rocket ship,
Minus
not an
1
airliner.
minute to launch.
No, Deadly.
10,
Watching old sci-fi
9,
movies does not qualify
8,
you to fly this
7,
rocket ship.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, ignition.
No! No! Ladies and gentlemen, the captain has turned off the fasten seatbelt sign, and you may now move about the cabin. Oh. Look, Deadly, there's some person on the wing. What do you mean you don't see somebody on the wing? He was right there. I saw somebody. They were on the wing, really. Ah! See? There was somebody on the wing. What's that noise?
What are you doing to me, taking off like that?
Who are you?
What
and what
are you doing on
here?
my ship?
Oh.
I was outside on the wing fixing something when you knuckleheads ruined everything. Good thing I was tied off.
Well, first, sorry, we didn't know you were out there. And then we took a wrong turn and we ended up in this rocket, and Deadly touched all these buttons I told him not to touch. And then we took off. Can you fly the rocket back to the airport?
Yeah, I know how to fly this rocket, but it's programmed to go to my home planet, and I need to get back. And I've been using all of these air shows to get fuel and parts. And now that this rocket can fly, nobody's gonna stop me, nobody. So I suggest you enjoy the flight. Maybe they'll come get you, maybe they won't.
You're kidnapping us.
No, I'm not kidnapping you, you're stowaways. So stop whining and enjoy the flight.
Oh, Deadly, what are we gonna do? Although it would be nice to go on a vacation to a place we've never been before, but I'm having trouble breathing. Oh, that air smells funny.
That's right, you two. I've turned off the oxygen in the cabin, and now it's time for you to breathe my atmosphere.
I'm shrinking. I'm shrinking.
Here, let me give you a better view up on the dashboard. You'll love our planet. Lots of rocks and synthesized food.
Oh, Deadly, this is gonna be the worst vacation ever.